Imagine this. You wake up one morning, and for the first time in a long time, there's no weight in your chest. You're not haunted by the echoes of what if or why me. Instead, there's a quiet whisper in the back of your mind that says, why not you? That whisper feels different. It feels alive. It feels like the spark you've been waiting for, but didn't know you needed. My friend, that whisper is the seed of transformation. And today, I want to help you nurture it, water it, and let it grow into something unstoppable. You see, greatness isn't reserved for the lucky, the privileged, or the extraordinary. Greatness is the birthright of anyone bold enough to claim it. But let me tell you something. No one is handing it out. You've got to fight for it. This is not just another motivational speech. This is a conversation with your soul, an invitation to step into the version of yourself you've always known was there. You are not here by accident. You are here because something within you is ready to awaken. By the end of this journey, you will see the truth. Your limitations are not walls. They are doors waiting for you to open them. And I promise, by the time we're done, you will no longer ask, can I? Instead, you will declare, I must. I will. I am. We're going to dive deep into the moments of doubt that keep us stuck, the stories we tell ourselves that dim our potential, and the truths we've been too afraid to face. But this isn't about looking back in regret. It's about stepping forward in power. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to rise no matter how many times they fall? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's a mindset, a relentless belief that no matter how dark the night, the sun will rise again. And that mindset can be yours. Let me share a story. There was a man, let's call him David, who grew up in the shadows of his own fear. He was told he wasn't smart enough, strong enough, or worthy of success. For years he believed it. But one day, as he sat in a crowded coffee shop, drowning in self-doubt, he overheard a stranger say 6 words that would change his life forever. If not now, then when? Why not? Those words ignited something in him. David didn't wake up the next day a millionaire or a world changer, but he woke up different. He made a choice to stop waiting for permission and start giving himself the life he deserved. Step by step, he rewrote his story. And so can you. Now, pause for a moment. Reflect on this. What's one thing you've told yourself you can't do? Write it down. And next to it, write, why not me? This is the first step, reclaiming your narrative. As we move forward, I'll guide you through strategies and mindsets to help you break through barriers in your work, relationships, and personal growth. You'll learn how to overcome the fear of failure, embrace the lessons in struggle, and most importantly, execute with purpose. But here's the catch. I can't do it for you. The decision to take ownership of your life starts with you. Stay with me to the end, and I promise you will walk away not just inspired, but equipped. Equipped to wake up tomorrow and say, why not me? Why not now? Because the world doesn't need another dreamer waiting for the perfect moment. It needs you, here, now, ready to rise. Let's begin this journey together. Are you ready? Let's start with a question that may unsettle you. What's the story you've been telling yourself? Think about it. We all have a narrative, a carefully woven tale of why we are where we are. Maybe you've convinced yourself you're too old, too inexperienced, or too far behind. Maybe the voice in your head says it's just not my time, or it's too late for me. But here's the truth you need to hear right now. Those stories are lies. And like any lie, they lose their power the moment you confront them. So let's confront yours. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize a time when you held yourself back. Was it fear of failure? Fear of judgment? Or maybe it was the subtle but persistent belief that success is for them, not you. Now, take a deep breath and imagine rewriting that moment. What if, instead of retreating, you leaned in? What if, instead of shrinking, you stood tall? What would your life look like today if, in that one moment, you had said, why not me? Let's draw inspiration from someone who refused to let failure define him, Thomas Edison. The man who invented the light bulb didn't just stumble upon success. He failed 10,000 times before finding the right formula. When asked about his repeated failures, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." What's the lesson here? Simple. Every failure is a stepping stone, not a dead end. And the only way you truly fail is by giving up. So the next time you stumble, and you will, remember this: each setback is just another step forward in disguise. Let's make this practical. Take out a piece of paper and divide it into 2 columns. On the left, write down every belief that's holding you back. Be brutally honest. It might look something like this: I'm not smart enough. I don't have the resources. I'll fail and everyone will see. Now, in the right column, rewrite each belief as a possibility. I can learn and grow every day. I will find the resources I need. Failure is part of the process, and I'm not afraid to try. Do you see what just happened? You took control of your narrative, and that's the first step to reclaiming your power. Let me tell you about Angela, a middle-aged woman who decided to run her first marathon. She wasn't an athlete. In fact, she hadn't exercised in years. But one day something clicked. She thought to herself, why not me? Angela started small. She walked a mile, then 2. Eventually, she started jogging. It wasn't pretty, and it wasn't easy. Her legs ached, her lungs burned, and doubt crept in at every step. But she kept going. On the day of the marathon, Angela wasn't the fastest runner, but she crossed the finish line. And in that moment, she proved to herself and to the world that it's never too late to start. Her secret? She didn't focus on the entire 26.2 miles. She focused on one step at a time. What's your marathon? Maybe it's starting a new career, rebuilding a relationship, or simply learning to believe in yourself again. Whatever it is, take that first step today. And remember, you don't have to run the whole race at once. Just take it one step at a time. Now let's talk about execution. Eric Thomas, one of the most powerful motivational speakers of our time, says, "Execution is worshipped." And he's right. Ideas and dreams are meaningless without action. So here's the big question. What are you going to do today to move closer to your dream? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. It doesn't have to be grand. Send that email, take that class, make that phone call. Start small, but start now. Before we move forward, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what's one thing I've been putting off? What's holding me back from taking action? What's one small step I can take today? Write your answers down. There's power in putting your thoughts on paper. As we continue this journey, remember this. Success isn't about having all the answers. It's about showing up every single day and doing the work. It's about looking fear in the eye and saying, "You don't control me anymore. Stay with me. The best is yet to come." When was the last time you truly chose yourself? I don't mean in a selfish way, but in a way that honors your potential, your dreams, and the life you were meant to live. Too often, we wait for someone else to choose us, an employer to validate our skills, a partner to affirm our worth, or even society to tell us we're good enough. But here's the thing, waiting is a trap. No one is coming to save you. You have to decide, right here and now, that you are enough. Choosing yourself is an act of courage. It's saying, I will no longer dim my light to make others comfortable. I will no longer seek permission to live the life I deserve. There's a powerful story about an eagle who was raised among chickens. From the moment it hatched, the eagle was taught to peck at the ground, scratch for food, and never dream of flying. One day, a naturalist visited the farm and saw the eagle. He was shocked. "Why is this majestic bird living like a chicken?" he asked the farmer. The farmer shrugged. It's all it knows, determined to show the eagle its true potential. The naturalist took the bird to a high cliff. He held it up to the sky and said, "You are not a chicken. You are an eagle. Spread your wings and fly." At first, the eagle hesitated. But then, as the wind rushed past its feathers, something awakened within it. The eagle took a leap of faith and soared into the sky, finally living the life it was born for. What's the lesson here? You may have been living like a chicken, but you were born to be an eagle. It's time to stop scratching at the ground and start soaring. Here's a simple exercise to help you step into your power. 1. Write down one area of your life where you've been playing small. 2. Identify one action, no matter how small, that you can take today to move forward. 3. Commit to taking that action. It could be speaking up in a meeting, setting a boundary with someone who drains you, or finally saying yes to an opportunity you've been avoiding. Let's be real. The moment you choose yourself, resistance will show up. It will whisper, "Who do you think you are?" It will remind you of every failure, every rejection, and every reason why you should stay in your comfort zone. But here's the truth. Resistance is a sign that you're on the right path. It means you're growing, stretching, and stepping into uncharted territory. And that's exactly where you need to be. Let me tell you about Lisa, a single mother who dreamed of starting her own business. For years, she told herself she couldn't do it. She didn't have the time, the money, or the support. One day, Lisa decided she'd had enough of the excuses. She started small, selling handmade crafts online while her kids slept. It wasn't easy. There were nights when she wanted to quit, days when she doubted herself. But Lisa kept going. Today, Lisa runs a thriving business that supports her family and inspires other women to follow their dreams. She didn't wait for the perfect moment. She created it. Lisa's story teaches us an important lesson. Success isn't about big leaps. It's about small, consistent steps. Every time you choose action over excuses, you're building momentum. So ask yourself, what's one small win you can achieve today? It doesn't have to be monumental. Success is cumulative, and every step counts. Take a moment to reflect on this. What does choosing yourself look like in your life? Where have you been waiting for permission? What's one bold step you can take to claim your worth? Write these thoughts down. There's power in naming your fears and your dreams. Choosing yourself isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. It's waking up each morning and saying, "I am worthy. I am capable, and I will not let fear dictate my life." Stay with me as we continue this journey. In the next section, we'll explore how to turn your dreams into reality by mastering the art of focus, resilience, and execution. Dreams are the whispers of your soul, urging you to step into your purpose. But let me ask you this. How many of your dreams have you let slip away because they felt too big, too distant, or too impossible? The gap between dreaming and achieving is wide, but it's not unbridgeable. The bridge? It's built through focus, resilience, and execution. Today, we're going to talk about how to close that gap, how to turn your dreams from fleeting thoughts into tangible realities. One of the greatest obstacles to success is distraction. We live in a world designed to pull our attention in 1,000 different directions. But here's the truth. If everything is important, nothing is. To achieve your dreams, you must learn to focus, not just on what matters, but on what matters most. Let me share a powerful strategy called the Rule of One. It's simple. Focus on one major goal at a time. Break it down into smaller, actionable steps, and commit to working on it every single day. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, start with one habit, like walking for 30 minutes a day or drinking more water. Once that habit becomes second nature, move on to the next. There's a story about an Olympic archer who was asked how she managed to hit the bullseye every time. Her answer was profound. "I don't focus on the target. I focus on the center of the target." Think about that for a moment. She wasn't aiming for the general goal. She was laser focused on the most important part of it. The lesson? Success isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most with precision and consistency. Here's how you can cultivate focus in your own life. 1. Eliminate distractions. Turn off notifications, set boundaries with your time, and create a workspace that supports deep focus. 2. Set clear priorities. Each day, identify the 3 most important tasks that will move you closer to your goal. Focus on those before anything else. 3. Practice mindfulness. Train your mind to stay present. When you catch yourself drifting, gently bring your attention back to the task at hand. Now, let's talk about resilience. The road to success is rarely smooth. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments when you feel like giving up. But resilience is what keeps you moving forward. Think of resilience as a muscle. The more you challenge it, the stronger it becomes. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. Before she became one of the most successful writers in history, Rowling faced rejection after rejection. Her manuscript was turned down by 12 publishers, and she was living in near poverty. But she didn't quit. Rowling believed in her story, and she kept pushing forward. Today, her books have sold over 500 million copies and inspired millions of readers worldwide. What if Rowling had stopped after the first rejection, or the second, or the 12th? Her story is a reminder that resilience is the secret ingredient to success. Here are 3 ways to build your resilience. 1. Reframe setbacks. Instead of seeing failures as endings, view them as lessons. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? 2. Build a support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you. Resilience doesn't mean going it alone. 3. Focus on your why. When the road gets tough, reconnect with your purpose. Let your why be stronger than your excuses. Execution is where dreams are made or broken. You can have the best ideas, the most detailed plans, and the grandest visions, but without execution, they mean nothing. Eric Thomas said it best: execution is worshipped. Think of execution as a daily discipline. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Let me share the story of Sarah, a young entrepreneur who dreamed of building a tech startup. She didn't have the resources, connections, or experience, but she had an idea and the will to execute. Sarah started small, coding her product in her spare time while working a full-time job. She reached out to potential customers, sought feedback, and made improvements. Her mantra? Do the work even when it's hard. Today, Sarah's startup is worth millions, but she'll tell you it wasn't talent or luck that got her there. It was execution. Let's pause for a moment of reflection. What's one dream you've been putting off because it feels too big? What's one small action you can take today to move closer to that dream? Write it down and commit to executing it. Turning dreams into reality isn't about magic. It's about focus, resilience, and execution. It's about showing up every day and doing the work, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels impossible. Because the truth is, you are capable of more than you know. Stay with me as we move into the next part of this journey, where we'll explore how to align your actions with your values and build a life that feels truly meaningful. Have you ever felt like you're running on a treadmill, busy but going nowhere? That feeling often comes from living out of alignment with your values. When your actions and your core beliefs are disconnected, life starts to feel hollow, no matter how much you achieve. Let's dig deep into why aligning your actions with your values is the foundation of a meaningful life, and how you can start living with intention today. Values are your inner compass. They're the principles and priorities that define who you are and what matters most. But here's the catch. Most people never take the time to clearly define their values. They adopt what society, family, or culture tells them to value: success, wealth, appearances, without questioning whether those things truly resonate. It's time to change that. It's time to reconnect with what you value. Let me tell you about Greg. He was a high-powered banker who seemed to have it all: money, status, and a corner office. But inside, Greg felt empty. He was working 80-hour weeks, missing family milestones, and sacrificing his health. One day, Greg hit a breaking point. He realized that the life he was living wasn't his own. It was a life built around external expectations. So Greg made a radical decision. He walked away from his job. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Today, Greg runs a small nonprofit focused on financial literacy, a role that aligns with his values of service, connection, and impact. Greg's story teaches us a crucial lesson. Success without alignment isn't true success. Here's a simple exercise to help you uncover your values. 1. List your top 10 priorities. What are the things you care about most in life? Examples might include family, creativity, health, or freedom. 2. Narrow it down to 5. Out of your list, identify the 5 that resonate most deeply. 3. Rank them. Arrange your top 5 in order of importance. Now ask yourself, are my daily actions supporting these values? If not, what needs to change? Living in alignment also means learning to say no. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your values, you're saying no to something that does. Think about that. Every yes to overtime that compromises your health. Every yes to obligations that drain you. It's a no to your well-being, your passion, and your priorities. Saying no isn't selfish. It's self-respect. Oprah Winfrey once said that learning to say no was one of the most important lessons of her life. Early in her career, she said yes to everything, fearing she'd miss opportunities. But as she grew, Oprah realized that saying no was essential to preserving her energy and staying true to her purpose. When you say no to what doesn't align, you create space for what truly matters. Here's how you can start aligning your actions with your values. 1. Start small. Choose one area of your life where you feel out of alignment. Identify one change you can make to bring it closer to your values. 2. Set boundaries. Practice saying no to requests or activities that don't support your priorities. 3. Track your progress. At the end of each day, reflect. Did my actions today align with my values? What could I do differently tomorrow? Let's talk about Maria, a middle school teacher who felt trapped in a system that valued test scores over creativity. For years, Maria followed the rules, but it ate away at her soul. She wanted to inspire her students, not just prepare them for exams. One day, Maria decided to take a risk. She started integrating art and storytelling into her lessons. At first, she faced resistance from administrators, but her students thrived. Their engagement skyrocketed, and so did their performance. Maria found her purpose by aligning her teaching with her values of creativity and connection. She didn't quit her job, she transformed it. Ask yourself, what would I do if I had nothing to prove? If I wasn't afraid of failure or judgment? This question often reveals the gap between your current life and your true values. Write down your answer and let it guide your next steps. Alignment isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about making choices, big and small, that bring you closer to the life you were meant to live. Remember, a meaningful life isn't found. It's created moment by moment, choice by choice. In the next part of this journey, we'll explore how to overcome fear and self-doubt, the barriers that keep so many of us from living in alignment. Because to truly thrive, you must not only align your life, but also believe in your ability to succeed. If values guide your direction, fear and self-doubt are the weights that hold you back. These two forces can paralyze even the most determined soul, whispering lies like, "You're not ready, you're not good enough, or you'll fail anyway." But here's the truth. Fear is a companion on the journey to greatness, not an obstacle. It's not something to be eliminated, but something to be understood and managed. Let's talk about how you can confront fear, quiet self-doubt, and move forward boldly toward your purpose. Fear is primal. It's your brain's way of protecting you from perceived danger. The problem is, your brain doesn't distinguish between physical threats and emotional risks. It reacts the same way to a tiger in the jungle as it does to the idea of failure or rejection. But fear isn't the enemy. In fact, it can be a powerful teacher. Imagine a young woman named Lisa, preparing for her first public speaking event. The night before, fear hit her hard. What if I forget my words? What if people laugh at me? On stage, her worst fear came true. She blanked on her speech. For a moment, the audience sat in silence, and she felt like running away. But then Lisa took a deep breath. Instead of pretending everything was fine, she admitted her fear. "You'll have to forgive me," she said, smiling nervously. "This is my first time, and I'm terrified." The audience erupted into applause, cheering her on. Lisa finished her speech, and though it wasn't perfect, it was authentic and unforgettable. Lisa's story teaches us that fear loses its power when we face it with courage and vulnerability. Self-doubt is the voice that says, "Who are you to dream big?" It's insidious because it often disguises itself as logic or humility. But self-doubt isn't truth. It's a story you've told yourself based on past experiences or other people's opinions. Let me share the story of Marcus, a man in his 40s who always dreamed of being an artist, but believed he wasn't talented enough. One day, his daughter handed him a set of paints and said, "Show me what you can do." With trembling hands, Marcus painted his first picture. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it was his. Encouraged, he painted another, then another. Over time, his skills improved, but more importantly, his confidence grew. Today, Marcus exhibits his work in local galleries. He'll tell you that the hardest part wasn't learning to paint. It was silencing the voice of doubt long enough to begin. Here are 4 steps you can take to break free from fear and self-doubt. 1. Name it. Write down your fears and doubts. Seeing them on paper diminishes their power and helps you understand them. 2. Challenge the narrative. Ask yourself, is this fear based on fact or assumption? Replace negative self-talk with empowering truths. 3. Take small steps. Fear thrives on inaction. Break your goal into small, manageable steps and focus on one at a time. 4. Celebrate progress. Each step forward is a victory. Acknowledge your growth, no matter how small it may seem. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action in the face of it. When you act despite your fear, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think. There's a saying among climbers, "The mountain you fear to climb is the one that holds the greatest reward." This was true for David, an experienced hiker who developed a fear of heights after an accident. For years, he avoided difficult trails until one day, he decided to face his fear head-on. With a friend by his side, David tackled a challenging climb. The journey was nerve-wracking, but step by step, he made it to the summit. Standing at the top, David realized that fear wasn't his enemy. It was his guide. It pointed him toward the growth he needed most. Take a moment to reflect on your own fears. What's one fear that's holding you back right now? What's the worst-case scenario if you face it? And how likely is that to happen? What's the best-case scenario if you succeed? Write these down and create a plan to take your first step. Fear and self-doubt are part of the human experience, but they don't define you. They're not roadblocks, they're stepping stones. Remember, every great achievement began with someone who was scared but chose to act anyway. In the next part of our journey, we'll dive into the power of consistency, the force that turns small actions into life-changing transformations. Because once you overcome fear, the key to lasting success is staying the course. The world celebrates big wins, landing the dream job, publishing the book, running the marathon, but rarely do we talk about the quiet, persistent grind behind those moments. Success is not born in the spotlight. It is forged in the shadows of consistency. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is the secret weapon of every high achiever. Let's explore how small, repeated actions can lead to life-changing transformations. Imagine dropping a single coin into a jar each day. At first, it seems insignificant. One coin doesn't fill the jar, but over time, as you continue, the jar fills, and the weight of your effort becomes undeniable. This is the compounding effect. Small, consistent actions build momentum and create exponential growth over time. Take Emily, a middle-aged mother of 2 who decided to run her first marathon. When she started training, she could barely jog a mile. Instead of focusing on the daunting 26.2 miles ahead, Emily committed to running just a little farther each week. Over months, those small runs added up. By race day, Emily had built the endurance she needed to cross the finish line. Her victory wasn't a result of talent or luck. It was the outcome of daily discipline. The 3 pillars of consistency. 1. Clarity of vision. You must know what you're working toward. Without a clear goal, it's easy to lose motivation. Define your goal and visualize the outcome. 2. Small, manageable steps. Break your goal into tiny, actionable steps. Focus on progress, not perfection. 3. Accountability. Share your goal with someone who will hold you accountable. Whether it's a friend, a coach, or a community, having support keeps you on track. Consistency isn't just for grand goals. It applies to every area of life. In work, showing up every day with focus and dedication builds credibility and opens doors to growth. In family, consistently spending quality time strengthens relationships and fosters trust. In health, daily habits like eating nutritious food or walking 10 minutes add up to long-term well-being. Rituals make consistency easier by turning actions into habits. For example, starting your day with a morning routine sets the tone for productivity and focus. A simple morning ritual to try. 1. Spend 5 minutes journaling your intentions for the day. 2. Take 5 minutes to stretch or meditate. 3. Identify one priority to focus on. These small actions, repeated daily, create a ripple effect of positive change. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. Why? Because they don't see immediate results. Consider the Chinese bamboo tree. For the first 5 years, it shows no visible growth. But in the 5th year, it shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. The lesson? Growth is happening beneath the surface, even when you can't see it. Your job is to keep watering the seed, keep showing up until the breakthrough comes. Choose one area of your life where you want to improve. What small action can you take daily? How will you track your progress? Commit to 30 days and evaluate your results. Consistency is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. It's not about grand gestures, but the daily effort that, over time, transforms your life. With consistency as your ally, let's move to the final chapter, embracing resilience and redefining failure. Failure. The word itself can feel heavy, but what if I told you that failure isn't the end? It's simply a lesson, a stepping stone toward success. Resilience is the ability to rise after every fall, stronger and more determined. Let's dive into how you can cultivate resilience and use failure as a tool for growth. When asked about his thousands of failed attempts to create the light bulb, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's story teaches us that failure is not defeat. It's feedback. Each setback brings you closer to your goal. The resilience formula. 1. Shift your perspective. View failure as an opportunity to learn, not as a reflection of your worth. 2. Embrace the process. Success is rarely linear. Accept that setbacks are part of the journey. 3. Find your why. Your purpose gives you the strength to keep going when things get tough. Practical tools for building resilience. Journaling. Write about your challenges and what they've taught you. Mindfulness. Practice staying present, even in difficult moments. Gratitude. Focus on what's going well to balance the weight of setbacks. You've made it to the end of this journey, but your journey in life is just beginning. Let me leave you with one final question. Why not you? Why shouldn't you be the one to achieve greatness, to live a life aligned with your values, and to inspire others along the way? You have everything you need within you: the courage to face fear, the discipline to stay consistent, and the resilience to rise after every fall. As you step away from this video, I challenge you to take action. 1. Define one goal that truly matters to you. 2. Commit to one small step today that moves you closer to that goal. 3. Share your journey with someone you trust for accountability. Remember, the greatest transformations begin with a single step. You are not just a viewer of Whispers of the Mind. You are an inner explorer, a seeker, and a creator of your destiny. So, why not you? You've spent years showing up for everyone else, your boss, your kids, your partner, your friends. But when will you show up for yourself? When will you look in the mirror and say, I am worth the effort, the risks, and the rewards? The truth is, you don't have to wait for permission. You don't need someone else's approval to start. The only permission you need is the one you give yourself. So, let me leave you with this challenge. Write down one thing you've been putting off, something that excites you, scares you, or feels just out of reach. Now, commit to taking one small step toward it in the next 24 hours. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because here's what I know for sure. The people who change their lives aren't the ones with the most resources, the most talent, or the easiest path. They're the ones who decide, why not me? The question isn't whether you're capable, you are. It's whether you'll choose to act. So, why not you? And as you go about your day, I want you to carry this thought with you. Somewhere out there, someone is waiting for what only you can offer. Your story, your strength, your gifts, they matter. But they'll only shine if you let them. This is your life. Take the pen and write the story you deserve. Your next chapter starts now. Before you go, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Whispers of the Mind. Share this video with a friend who needs this reminder today. Let's keep this ripple of growth going. Together, we can create something extraordinary. What will your first step be? Let us know in the comments below. We're here to cheer you on.